Guys, what's going on? My name is Dave. This is Dick's 4x4 Garage. Thank you for joining me today in the garage. Video 3, Phase 2, K10 crawler. We got the truck behind me here. We've started the dove nose. I need to get the core support in the proper location. That way I can build mounting tabs for the fenders, or actually the core support to mount to the fenders, and which means that we have to move these mounts right here for the core support. So we're gonna get knocking out some rivets and we're gonna make it happen. So let's get busy. All right, well, there you go. Neighbors, they're all being loud. I'm being loud. I put some earphones in and get to work. So, cut out the center. I cut V's on the edges. And I'm actually gonna just put it up there and bolt it in, and then I'm gonna pull the fenders in and see what it does. And then I got this front section. I'm gonna figure out where I want to cut it down. I'm probably just gonna cut the edges out of it. Should be all right. So, yeah, let's see what happens. All right, fellas, this is what we got. So I've measured, I pulled both fenders in. I put a strap across the top of them. I pulled them in tight. I looked at pictures. It looks like this is basically where the core support meets the fender right here. There's this one over here. So it looks like that one kind of fell in a little bit. I have to double check it before I do anything. But so what I did is I had already taken these off and I had cut them away from the hanger. And so I just bolted them on, and then I basically got everything where I needed to be. I measured a couple times, like from here to that bolt hole and from here to this upper bolt hole up here, just to make sure everything was cool. I had to put a strap on it. This one wasn't over far enough. And I think we're good to burn the lowers, or at least tack them, and then we can start fitting everything else. All right, another thing I'm noticing here, and which is okay, is that since this is straight, I'm hitting the front edge of this, but then down here, it doesn't stick out as far forward, so then the bottom of the fender is pulled in a little bit. So what I'm gonna have to do is once I get these tacked in, and I know where my upper mount, or my upper's gonna be, then I can push the bottom of the fender out a little bit and then put a, like a, I don't know, a place to bolt it to the fender, you know, pushed out a little bit. And then that way it'll give it the proper, you know, the proper, I guess, vertical alignment. And then that way my grill will fit. So my grill fits here and it's tight down here. So I just need to push it out just a little bit and I think it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna pop a couple tacks on the perches and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so it's kind of interesting. I got these lower guys tacked in, and you're kind of dealing with a couple different things. You know, you got like the fenders to make sure that they're evenly brought in, and then, you know, you want to make sure that this is aligning properly up top. And then one thing I realized after I had tacked them is that this one was lower than this one. So, you know, it's like, it looks like that right there. So it's pretty, it's a little bit above. You know, I realize I'm probably gonna have to like trim that up or do something. And then this one was like way up, but I used this clamp here. I cut my tacks, I used this clamp, brought it down to the appropriate height. And now it looks pretty good. So now I gotta do some spacing here. Now that it's you know, those are just chilling there. I'm gonna leave the clamps on them for now, but now that those are chilling there, then I can go ahead and space everything without having to worry about stuff falling off. She's chilling. If you notice one thing, it ain't got no straps on it. Yeah. So built a couple little mounts out of some angle iron. So I did one right here, and I did one down low, and then these are tacked in right here. So hell yeah, I dig it. I had to space this out a little bit, so I used the fender spacers plus like a fender washer, and I was able to get it to the gap that I wanted, and hell to the yeah, I think it looks good. So it's not excessively sticking out. I think it is okay, you know. I mean, this isn't exact, you know what I mean? I think this shit's all mangled up, so, you know, whatever. It is what it is, so it's just kind of letting that sink in a little bit, but oh well. It's good enough, you know what I mean? So this is pretty close to this. The bottom seems pretty close, so I'm rolling with it. Alright guys, so here's the plan. So what I've done is I pretty much cut out the whole center section of the hood support, or the inner structure of it, if you will. And my thinking is I want to make a nice frame, but also you see here I got it bolted to the hinges, so it's hinging up and down, and as long as even if I pull it in a little bit, it's still going to shut okay. I may have to do a little bit of trimming, but I'm not going to have to bend the hinge, and if I bend the hinge to make it come over, then what I'm going to have to do is cut more of the body away. So I could do that. I could cut the body away. It's really not that big of a deal, but all that stuff's kind of in place. It still has the rubber there. So what I'm going to do is I've cut the back section off, since it's going to have to be shortened just a little bit. I already put those cuts in it. Otherwise, I would have just probably trimmed it off, but I'll just trim it up and just weld it back in. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to trim it just enough to where it actually sits up against the fender. I'm going to try to trim it evenly down this top, and then that way I can just roll the edge over a little bit if I need to, and then I can cut the hood and then roll it right over the edge. So that's my thinking. We'll see what happens. Let's get busy. Guys, that's all I got for you this week. I appreciate you rolling with me. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to be a part of the Dick's 4x4 Garage family, hit the subscribe button. Coming up next week, video 4. We got the hood. We're going to have to bend it over, and I don't know. It's going to be crazy, but we'll get it figured out. It should come out to be a nice piece, and then we can move on to start doing some 3-linking. I'm hoping. So I got a few more parts that I'm waiting on, so by the time the next video gets out, we should be good to go to get all rolling on that. But until then, guys, stay safe. Dave out.